every episode where Homer stayed loyal to Marge, despite other women flirting with him, bro got that rizz, I guess. Starting with the episode where Homer is seduced by a popular singer, Lurleen Lumpkin, in Season 3's Colonel Homer. The episode starts showing the Simpsons going to the local movie theater. And, as always, Homer is ready to create a blunder. He makes loud noises and spoils the movie's ending.
Oh, wait! I heard how this ends. It turns out the secret code was the same nursery rhyme he told his daughter.
Making the audience extremely angry. Marge gets upset and scolds him, while the other viewers throw snacks at him. On the way home, Marge tries to apologize, but Homer says,
Marge, I have always carried myself with a certain quiet dignity. Tonight, you robbed me of it.
Bro is really heartbroken. He drops Marge and the kids at home and drives off by himself. Later, he stops at a country bar where a popular singer named Lurleen performs.
Tonight I'd like to try something a little different.
Her song, Your Wife Don't Understand You, catches Homer's attention.
Hey, Lurleen, I gotta say something to you. Your song touched me in a way I've never felt before.
A few days later, Homer goes to her mobile home and asks for a copy of the song.
Do you think I could get a copy of it?
When Lurleen says she hasn't recorded it yet, Homer convinces her to record it with him.
We've gotta crack open your head and scoop out those songs.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Come with me!
Oh.
After they record it, a local country music station's representative approaches them, and Lurleen's songs quickly become hits. Meanwhile, Marge is upset about Homer spending time with Lurleen, worried they might develop romantic feelings for each other, which, it seems, they surely have. Her concerns grow when Homer becomes Lurleen's manager.
I want you to stop seeing her.
I can't! I'm her manager!
And she gives him an expensive white cowboy suit that he probably wears, even at home. Although Homer denies any affair, he insists on managing Lurleen's career, whether Marge agrees or not. Things escalate when Homer risks the family's entire savings to pay for a recording session for Lurleen. However, this makes Marge even angrier. Her frustration peaks when Lurleen releases a flirty song called Bag Me a Homer. Homer lands Lurleen a spot on the country TV show You. The night before her big performance, Homer visits her mobile home, where she sings him a new song, Bunk With Me Tonight, hinting at her romantic intentions.
I'm asking, will you bunk with me tonight?
Oh, that's hot.
Realizing she's trying to seduce him, Homer chooses to stay faithful to Marge and leaves. While Lurleen performs, a business agent offers Homer money for her contract, but he turns it down. Later, in her dressing room, Lurleen hugs Homer, and he begins to think about his love life. He recalls Marge's promise to always love him,
I'll love you for the rest of my life.
which reminds him of his commitment to her. Homer explains to Lurleen that he only wanted to help her share her music with the world.
I'm sorry, Lurleen. All I wanted to do was share your beautiful voice with other people, and I've done that.
And he leaves to stay faithful. On his way out, he meets the agent again and decides to sell Lurleen's contract for $50. Back at home, Marge is in bed watching Lurleen on Yahoo. She performs a new song, Stand By Your Manager, revealing that Homer stays loyal to his wife. She sings, I hope that Marge knows just how lucky she is. Hearing this, Marge smiles and says,
I do.
forgiving Homer. The two share a loving kiss. Moving on, we have The Last Temptation of Homer. The episode starts with Bart pulling a prank by painting the parking lines too close together, leaving the teachers unable to exit their cars.
Blasted woman, you parked too close. Move your car.
I'm in the lines. You got a problem? Go tell your mama.
As a punishment, Bart is forced to answer every question in class for the rest of the year. Meanwhile, at the nuclear plant, Homer and his friends Lenny, Carl, and Charlie fool around by using a claw machine to pinch a worker's backside. Unfortunately, the worker is doing something critical, and their prank triggers a nuclear meltdown. Oh, Homer, try to be serious for once. The situation turns terrible when the emergency exit turns out to be just a painted-on wall. They barely escape, but when Charlie asks Mr. Burns to install a proper exit, Burns fires him and has him deported to an unknown location, possibly Saudi Arabia, where he is forced to entertain people by dancing in a palace. In the meantime, Mr. Burns hires Zutroy, an undocumented worker, to replace Charlie, but Zutroy is soon arrested and deported by the Department of Labor in response. The government orders Burns to make changes at the plant, including hiring at least one female worker. This leads to the arrival of Mindy Simmons, a beautiful redhead who immediately catches Homer's attention. Homer finds himself drawn to Mindy and starts having daydreams about her, realizing he might be falling for her. Homer tries to distance himself from Mindy, attempting strategies like finding differences between them, writing reminders on his hand, and forcing himself to think unsexy thoughts. However, every attempt fails as he discovers they have an uncanny number of things in common: love for donuts, beer, TV, and even making Homer-like noises. She is the one Homer. However, when Homer gets home, things aren't ideal. Marge is bedridden with a terrible cold, Lisa's dinner consists of poorly made fish sticks, and Bart looks awkwardly nerdy due to his eye treatment. Homer seeks relief in television, but everything he watches seems to encourage infidelity, including a suggestive ad featuring a talking ringworm saying, "Just do it."
Ooh, just do it.
As Homer wrestles with his feelings, his guardian angel, appearing as Colonel Kling from Hogan's Heroes, tries to show him how miserable life would have been if he'd ended up with Mindy instead of Marge. Unfortunately, the angel's plan backfires when the vision shows Homer happily married to Mindy and living a wealthy life, while Marge becomes the president of the United States with overwhelming approval ratings. Oh dear, how crazy someone's thoughts can be. At the nuclear power plant, Mr. Burns is confused about selecting two employees to attend an energy convention in Capital City. However, tensions are high at the plant, with everyone arguing, except for Homer and Mindy, who seem to get along well. As a result, they are chosen to go together.
You two have been chosen to represent us at the National Energy Convention. Congratulations.
Oh, this is the worst crisis my marriage has ever faced.
In the capital city, Homer and Mindy are assigned to share a hotel room.
We ordered so much.
Oh, something's missing.
At the convention, they are crowned king and queen of energy, winning a prize to dine at Madame Cow's, the sexiest Chinese restaurant in the city. While there, Homer receives a fortune cookie that reads, "You will find happiness with a new love," which makes him worrying he might leave Marge for Mindy. Back at the hotel, the chemistry between Homer and Mindy is undeniable, and they share a kiss. Mindy encourages Homer to follow his heart. However, Homer has a surprise. He pulls off a banger move by inviting Marge to their hotel, and the two of them begin to rekindle their romance. Meanwhile, a teenage hotel worker spies on them and makes suggestive noises, which causes Homer to become furious. He punches the worker in the eye to end the awkward situation. Next, we've got Every Man's Dream. The episode starts with Homer falling asleep during a meltdown at the nuclear power plant, landing him in the hospital. Doctors discover he has narcolepsy, a condition that causes excessive sleepiness, and provide him with a medical excuse to avoid exhausting activities. However, Homer exploits this diagnosis to avoid all responsibilities, frustrating Marge. She insists he pick up his medication from the pharmacy. At the pharmacy, Homer finds a long line of senior citizens ahead of him. Impatient as always, he leaves for Moe's Tavern instead and returns home stinking of beer. Marge is furious and suggests they attend family counseling. However, the counselor shocks them by recommending time apart and even a freaking divorce.
The only way you and Homer will ever be happy is to spend a little time apart, followed by more time apart, followed by a divorce.
Left with no other option, Homer moves out and starts living at the nuclear plant.
My life be like.
Meanwhile, Lenny and Carl inform Homer that Marge has changed her relationship status to
It's complicated.
Not good.
and reverted her voicemail name to Marge Bouvier.
Hello. You've reached the voicemail for Marge Bouvier.
Heartbroken, Homer returns to Moe's. While there, he gets a call not from Marge, but from the pharmacist, Candace, reminding him about his medication. When Homer visits the pharmacy, Candace invites him on a date. She drugs Homer during their outing,
Drink?
You're the pharmacist. Whoa.
leading him to make a terrible mistake. For the first time, he cheats on Marge.
Oh God, I've just committed the one drunken mistake I've never made.
Later, Homer starts dating Candace, and their relationship grows to the point where she introduces him to her father. Shockingly, her father is dating none other than Marge, who seems happy with her new partner. Homer tries to warn Marge that her new fiancé isn't a good man, but she dismisses his concerns and agrees to marry him once her divorce from Homer is finalized.
Will you marry me, Marge?
Yes.
To add to Homer's distress, Candace reveals she's pregnant.
I'm already pregnant.
You're pregnant? But I kept my shirt on.
And suddenly, Homer wakes up in the counselor's office. It was all just a nightmare. What the f*** is happening? However, motivated by his dream, Homer commits to improving himself. Over the next month, he transforms into a better man, winning over his family. He even manages to convince Lisa to eat meat and Maggie to speak. But then, Homer wakes up again, this time at a bar on another date with Candace. Realizing how much he has lost, he rushes home only to find Marge having dinner with their kids and Candace's father. Heartbroken, Homer breaks down, sobbing in the yard. Lisa steps outside and reassures Homer that no one can truly separate them because they're family. But then she returns inside, excited to play chess and go pony shopping with her new dad. She wishes Homer a Merry Christmas before leaving him shattered. In despair, Homer lets out a loud no as the camera zooms into his mouth. Suddenly, Marge wakes up. It was her nightmare this time. Determined to save their marriage, she takes Homer back to family counseling. But just as she begins to share their solution, it's revealed that the counseling session was actually part of a tattoo on someone's back, reading, "Don't get drunk in Brooklyn." This is actually a confusing episode. Homer did cheat on Marge, and so did she. But as always, Homer is the first one to step out of it because he genuinely loves Marge. And that's it, my friends. Homer is actually pretty loyal to Marge, and there are very few episodes where he was with another woman. He just wants his wife, his lovely wife, to be with him. Click on this video to continue watching our content.